Hey everyone, welcome to my new how-to series. This series is going to be me building a road and a crossing, and I'm going to be using this pre-mixed concrete patch from DAP, which you could buy for I think about $20 for the gallon at Home Depot. I was watching on YouTube the Model Railroad Hobbyist What's Neat September 2016 column, and he has a lot of great videos and great tips, and I absolutely love the way he did these roads and basically did with the materials that you see here. This pre-mixed concrete patch, it's great for all different things, and he used it to make roads, and it's almost like a plaster hydrocal substance in a way, except it's more of a putty in here, you know. And the basic way is to have to dampen the surface here and patch it to make the roads and leave it to dry about 24 to 48 hours, and then eventually it's going to sink and have some cracks in it due to it drying. That's just normal, and then you come back and you fill in the cracks just like a patching a wall or a drywall if anybody has done any construction. So it's really simple, and so this is my very first time ever doing this, so we're going to try it out, and so if a mistake happens, it's going to be on video. So hopefully not, but let's get started here. Now the first step, let's say you already have your track in place as you have here. You want to have some kind of contours and how the road's going to look, just like if you're working with plaster or hydrocal. I had a lot of, he used a little Quart 8-inch strips. I'm going to use the road bed. I have tons of road bed left over from my layout, so I'm going to use the road bed. I'm going to see how this does. I had these really thick 2-inch nails that really go deep into the foam, so we'll see. Hopefully it works well. And to have the flanges for the inside, I have had these little popsicle sticks, which is almost a pretty good size for the flanges. I'm using them for now just to hold it in place. That's why I could get the outside first. I may take them off and go over and then use them to slide in and out. So I made like a little thing. Basically it's like a little sliding door. It's to move the concrete out of the space here. That's where the flanges could go through. I'm going to see how this technique works. Okay, so the second step, he tell me to dampen in the video and also in the mixture itself to dampen the area. Again, it's like hydrocal, like plaster, and it's softened. And what's great about this product is that it takes a long time for it to dry, so you can work with it for a long time before it really settles in, so it works even better than plastic. So now I have this section all weathered, watered up a little bit, just to dampen. Okay, so this is what the material looks like. Again, it's almost like it's pre-made concrete. It's almost like a putty. This thing to stir around for a little bit, so I did a couple of laps here. Get it all smoothed out. And basically take a sum and just apply it to the road. I may have put a little too much water on here, but we'll worry about that later on here. Yeah, I probably put a little too much water on here, but that's okay. But it's really a putty, and the material is almost gooey in a way. Okay, so I'm just going to smooth it out here. Take as much excess as I can off of it. Put this over here. I'm going to work with this a little bit. And don't worry about this. It looks like this certain we call all this here. You can sand that later on. Oops, sorry. You can sand that, and we don't have to worry about that. That's easy. That's later on when it dries, of course. Yeah, I put a little too much water, but that's okay. Take a little longer to dry. Okay, so I got the basic road in place here. Just move some of this out here. Okay. Now the next goal is to get up here on the rail itself. Okay, again, it's my first time doing this ever. So I'm still working to see how it works. I got a lot of road to do on my layout and a lot of parking lots and stuff. So I added, so let's do this here. See how this works. Okay, it goes on the rail, that's okay. It's not going to dry that quickly. I'm going to go inside it here. I'm going to see how this works. And that scraping is not this, it's the this trowel I'm using. So I highly recommend the plastic trowel if you can. It looks like a mess, but it's not really a mess. Once I smooth it out here. Okay, let's try this popsicle sliding door technique that I just figured out. Okay, there's your flange. I'm going to take a couple of new ones and I'm going to put it inside here. Let it hold. Okay. And later on, we can sand it down. It's not a problem. That's easy. Vacuum, anything you can. Let's take this one. Do the same thing. Move it out. Oops, let's not break it here. There's your other flange. Okay, I'm going to take this other new one I have here. I got a bunch of these, so I'm going to try to clean this one out a little bit. Okay. Okay, it's been just about 24 hours and you can see here, just to check on it, you can see that it's cracking in certain areas. That's okay. That's going to be filled, patched up, like it said. It said it'll crack, so you don't have to really worry about that too much. But it's getting hard. It's, you know, it's still mushy here and there. So I would personally give it another day. I'm going to be away for a few days, but I'm going to come back and I'm sure this will be dry, but you can see how it's cracking and it ends here. The next step is really just, once it's really hard, you can patch over the cracks, or you could keep some of the cracks and use them. Realistically, I mean, a lot of roads are cracked, let's put it this way, you know. And then once that dries, it should be okay by that point, and the next step will be probably to sand it down and take all these little pieces off. But the spaces of the flanges came out really well. I put the car on and it runs smoothly. And here's the side view, you can see by the flanges. That is just perfect. So the popsicle stick trick honestly worked to its benefit. I'm really happy that it did. So if anybody who wants to do this, and either it's 3-rail or 2-rail O gauge, the popsicle sticks is more than enough space for the flanges. Alright, so it's been a few days and you can see there's some cracks in here like I showed before. I'm going to go ahead and fill in the cracks here, patch it up, and give it somewhat like a little coat. So I'm going to again dampen it just a little bit. Nothing really crazy. Take a little bit of this stuff here. Okay, fill in the cracks. And when it's all finished, we're going to go back and sand it. That's the next step here. I'm going to go back here. Okay. Some of the cracks there. I'm going to fill over here as well. Some places it's sunk in a little bit, but that's all right. You can fill that in. Okay, do that. Something really simple here. Okay, sit in here. A little bit over here, in this spot here. Again, it's okay, it's getting on the rail, you can wipe it right off. Because when this dries, again, it's going to take about 24 hours to dry. This is like almost like a 7-day process. I found out, about 2-3 days, it dries really well, and it comes really hard. And you can do this the first step or the second step. You can take these nailings off here. You know what I there you go. You can cut it away. It's like almost like hard gum. Okay. And that's how it dries, guys. This is a dry after like 3-4 days. So it is dry. It does become this gooey substance. And again, if you have to rip this off, you could probably rip this off. As you can see here, look. You get underneath it. See? You can rip this off, and if somehow you can rip the whole thing up, you could probably reuse it in some cases. If you want to cut it off, and it does come off. So it's not like plaster where your what do you call it? It's got to be chipped at and redone totally. This it's almost like gum, which I think is pretty cool. Okay, you can even this out. And bushes and gravel on each end of this can easily hide all this on the sides. But there you have it. There's your road. And then when this dries, it'll be sanded and sanded smooth to where it will actually look like a real road. So quick, I go to my layout here, and I've already started the second step. As you can see, there's some places that need to be covered, some cracks, they sunk a little bit here and there. It's pretty darn smooth throughout. Some places are bumpy. A lot of stuff will be sanded. Some parts need to be filled, but that's okay. And I took a whole gallon. I have a gallon for $20, and most likely I have to buy maybe a quart for $7 just to finish all this section and to finish that section over there. But this was the entire thing. And what I done here was, again, this would be taken off before I patch it up. And right where, right over here is going to be the sidewalk. So I really don't care about the edges here and stuff, because these are going to be the sidewalks over here on each end. Alrighty, so this is pretty much dry. So now I'm going to sand it and smooth it out just a little bit. Okay. That's pretty smooth. Eats up your sandpaper a lot though. So, you know, got a lot on here, but they did a pretty good job. Okay, so I've taken some black Wilderness Scenic pigment and I diluted it a lot here. So I want to see how it comes out, if it comes out too dark. So that could be like your asphalt color. So I diluted this just a little more, because I thought it was a little too dark in my opinion. But it's the same, just dilute a little less. It comes out a little lighter, which I like. Now you could probably do another coat on this if you like to go a little darker. I may go a little darker on the layout because I like the dark asphalt color. To me, I like it better. But you know, that's your basic road. You know, and when that dries, you know, you could probably go over it a second, third time if you like it to be a little darker. Okay, so here's my layout, and this is the road I built for the layout. I did all the steps just like the demonstration. It came out really well. I really like how it turned out. And right now I'm doing the same diluted black with the pigments here from Wilderness Scenics. And I'm taking a spot and I'm constantly going over it. The more you go over it, the lighter it looks. If you see that. To see if you go darker, just dab it. It's gonna turn out darker. But I like the lighter color of the concrete, so I'm just gonna keep it. I'm gonna feather it like this with the brush. Let it go inside. I won't go up to here for now because they still got to work the ballasts and the track. I still got some track work to finish, so I'm not gonna go all the way. So after the first coat dried, I gave it another coat of the black pigment, and I like it a lot better. It dried really light the first time, so this one actually gave it a little better color. So the only thing left to really do will be to create the lines and the crosswalks and maybe some details on the road itself, like tire tracks and stuff like that. But the overall basic road is, for the most part, finished, except for the extensions that I have to finish, and I have some track work again, so I will finish that up once I finish all the track work. And the next thing will be just taking this card stock, the cardboard they get at Home Depot. This is what I originally used for the streets, and I decided to cut them and use them to make sidewalks. So that's about wraps up this how-to series for the pre-mixed concrete patch, and I hope you guys learned something out of this. I really like this product. I recommend it, and hopefully you guys get to check it out. Alrighty, so take care, have a good week, enjoy.